Sagt die Gemara, Prakten lo yishmei hasiba. Hasiba simin lo yishma hasiba. V'lo yoid el Hashem yaktim kana levesh. Yavelu de sakon. So Rashi explains what Shema Yaktim means. Shema Yaktim, a Prakten koi, shemitech shetzavar sheichel acherev, shipui koi v'aseisim espi akana, niftach v'neskapel l'mayla v'akana poshel l'mayla, v'hamaychel nichnas l'teichai v'nechnak. So Bekitzer Rashi holds that Shema Yaktim goes on Prakten. Rashbam says, Prakton, panov l'mayla, klapi mayla, v'sheichel v'lacherev. Hesevis yimin lo yishma hasiba, shaharei biyiminoi hutzarech lecha. He has to eat with his right hand, and if you're doing a save on your right side, your right hand gets stuck. You can't eat with your right hand. So that's why you have to do a save smile. So the shaila is, why does the Rashbam explain why a save simin is not a save, but when it comes to Prakton, the Rashbam doesn't explain why a Prakton is not a save. Says the Gemara, Prakton l'shmei save, save simin l'shmei save. Why does the Rashbam not explain why Prakten is not a Seder? Doesn't give any hezbah. Rashi doesn't give a hezbah for either. Not for Prakton and not for Sevis Yimin. But the Rashbam does explain a Sevis Yimin. So why didn't he explain Prakton? What's the difference? So l'chayre you'll have to say that Prakton is Pashut. The fact that Prakton is not a Sever is Pashut. The fact that a Sevis Yimin is not a Sever, that's a Chiddush. So what's the pshat? What's the difference between Prakten and Sevis Yimin? That's the first diakar. Then when you get to Shema Yaktim, so the Rashbam brings two pshatim. There's the pshat of Rashi, and then the Rashbam argues with Rashi. So first he quotes the Rashi that I just read, and then he asks on Rashi, so why did the Gemara say it over here and not before? Sagt der Rashbam, Rabbi sei pirshu, Shema Yaktim kan leveshu devesht have al tzad yamin, v'niftach hakovesh al pei kan melek shu mata klap yamin v'im kanas bei machal resakana, she'neichel nemashken echnasna al derech haveshu lekach nere be'ena ba'sevis yimin koyim de besamchel didei. So machlokes Rashbam and Rashi, when the Gemara says the sakana, what is the sakana referring to? Is it a sakana to do haseva like a Prakton, or is it a sakana to do a sevis yamin? Rashi holds it's only a sakana Prakton, and the Rashbam holds it's only a sakana sevis yimin. So the Rosh here says it is an afgeminah l'poil. What's an afgeminah l'maisa between the Rashi and the Rashbam? So the Rosh in Simon Chav says the afgeminah would be when you get to an iter, a lefty. L'fi zeh, iter biyaminoi, meisiv biyaminoi. According to the pshat, according to the pshat of Rashi, that the sakana is only for a Prakton, but for a sevis yimin there's no sakana. The only reason you have to eat on your right, on your left, and you have to do a save on your left side is because you have to use your right hand when you eat. So how about an eater that has to use his left hand? So he has to do a save on the right side. But according to the other pshat that the Rashbam brings, that doing a save biyamin is a sakana, Shema Yaktim kana levesht, koya sevis yimin, ein chiluk ben iter la'acher. There's no difference between an iter and anybody else. It's a sakana to do a seva on your right side, so it doesn't make a difference who the person is. A regular person, an iter, has to do a seva on the left side. So this is the nafkamina b'payil between Rashi and the Rashbam. So according to this Rosh, you understand that at least lefi the Rashbam's pshat, when the Gemara adds v'loy oid el shema yaktim kan levesh, why did the Gemara add that line? Why did the Gemara find it necessary to add the line of v'loy oid shema yaktim kan levesh? He's not supposed to do a save on the right side anyways, because it's not a save, because he has to eat with his right hand. So why does the Gemara have to add v'loy oid? It's going to be a sakana. So according to what the Rashbam is saying, the Gemara is not stam adding it as a Eitzah Tova Kamashmalan. Even if you're not interested in being Mekayim, the Takana of Chazal, to do a Seva properly, don't do it anyways, because you're going to get into a Sakana. It's not stam the Gemara is adding it. There's an Afgemina B'Poil. The Gemara adds it because there's an Afgemina. Now that it brings up the reason of Sakana, we know that the din that you have to do a Seva Smoil Dafka applies to everybody, including a iter. If the Gemara wouldn't have said that, it would have said that maybe a iter has to do a seva on the right side. So now that the Gemara says that to do a seva on Yamin is a sakana, so if it's taka sakana, and because of that nobody should be putting himself in a sakana and doing a sevis yamin, so why does the Gemara have to say the first point, sevis yamin lo yishmei seva, and Rashbam says the reason is because harei b'minay tzarech lecha? Why is it negayed to say the first point? There's two different points the Gemara is saying here. Number one, sevis yamin lo yishmei seva, zok Rashbam harei b'minay tzarech lecha. Number two, it's a sakana. So if the Gemara is bringing me the reason of sakana, so then why does the Gemara have to bring the first reason? There's a much stronger reason. He's putting himself into a sakana. The first reason is just the fact that it's uncomfortable to do a seva on your right hand because your hand gets stuck, you're trying to eat. Why does the Gemara have to bring that? So the Bach brings, B'Shem the Marshal, that the Marshal said that there's a big nafkamena. The first reason is very important also. According to if the reason would only be sakana, sakana is much more severe. But what happens if b'di'evet someone did a sevis yamin and he survived? He's alive to tell the story. So then b'di'evet was in Mekayim mitzvah seva. Why not? B'payil he was massive and it was comfortable for him. If we don't have the first reason of the Rashbam, there was nothing wrong. So yeah, he put himself into a sakana, but b'payil, maida hava hava. It's the lashon of the Marshal. Maida hava hava. B'payil, he did a seva. Now that Rashbam and the Gemara brings the first reason that a sevis yamin lo yishmei seva, why not? Because he has to be able to eat with his hand, and it's not the way you do a seva. So then even b'di'evet, it's not called a seva. It's b'chlal not a seva. Even though he survived the sakana, but it's not only an issue of sakana. It's not a seva because harei b'minay tzarech lecha. So now we understand why the Gemara brings both inyan. It brings the first inyan to, if anyone's getting cold, you can close the windows. He brings the first reason because to explain that even b'di'evet it's not a seva, and he brings the second reason to explain that even a iter has to do a seva smell. Yeah, clear? So now, if that's the pshat in this Gemara, everything is good and fine. But Bezei comes up a very big shayla when you get to iter. The Maral in the Sefer Gvuras Hashem asks that Bezei, it's not the shayla when you get to iter is going to be, how could a iter do a seva? How could a lefty do a seva? Mamanav shach is a seva is not going to be a good seva. If he's going to do a seva smile, it's not a good seva because he has to use his left hand to eat. The same svara there is for a regular person to eat with his right hand, he eats with his left hand, so he has to eat with his left hand. So if he does a seva smile, it's uncomfortable for him. And Lagabi that the Gemara said, Lo yishmei seva shayrei b'minay tzarech lecha. So for the iter, Lo yishmei seva, if he does a seva smile, shayrei b'smile tzarech lecha. He can't do a sevis yamin either because it's a sakana. So how should a iter do a seva? Or in other words, what's the pshat in the Rosh here? The Rosh here says, according to the first pshat of the Rashbam, that the issue is that he has to eat with the right hand. So then a eater that eats with the left hand should do a sevis yamin. According to the second pshat of the Rashbam, that it's a sakana, there's no chilik between an eater and adam acher. So it looks like from the Rosh that it's either this pshat or this pshat. It's not both, but it's not what it says in the Gemara. In the Gemara it says both. Hasevis yamin lo yishmei haseva. There's two reasons here. And if you have both reasons, so then the iter is stuck. You can't be Mekayim mitzvah seva. That's the shaila of the Maral on this pshat of the Rashbam. Okay, the Maral gives two answers. One of them I'll mention in Mitzvah later. But before we get to the Maral, so there's a few I found about to answer this question of the Maral. The simple pshat would be, Bashkafa Rishayna, what would be the first thing to say? Maybe Anachanami. An iter cannot do a seva. Who says an iter can do a seva? He can't do a seva. He's in a bind. Elamai doesn't mean that Papayali shouldn't do the seva. The Payol, he does a Seva anyways. Why? I guess not to be different than anybody else. Zecher leHaseva. Huh? It's not the opposite of Cheres. He's saying he's making himself uncomfortable. I don't know if you can mamish say at kedei kach. Huh?
You said about the writing.
That what?
You said about the writing that if it means
right.
it's not considered a Seba.
She'arei b'minoi tzarech hu tzarech lecha. I hear you. Okay. Look, I anyways don't think this is a correct shot either way. Just I was mentioning it b'ashkafa rishayna. But it's not mustaver to say that an iter cannot be mekayim mitzvah seva. That it's only whatever. He should do a seva because everyone else is doing a seva, so he might as well do the best he can, but it's not a real seva. There has to be a way that an iter could do a seva. So the question is how? How can an iter do a seva? Huh? Yeah, no. They're massive on probably, well, how are they massive? There's no lefty kings. Okay. So, here, there's another machlokes haposkim. And the Pri Megadim himself brings both days. Benegayet to an iter. So far we're talking about an iter l'chatchila. So the Rosh said that there's 2 days benegayet to the iter. How we should do a seva? That's the machlokes of Rashi and the Rashbam. Maral asks a shaila, how is it b'chlal shaykh for an iter to do a seva? But the Pri Megadim talks about something else. What happens if an iter did a seva simin, b'di'evet? If an iter did a seva simin b'di'evet, what's going to be the halacha then? He was supposed to do a seva smile because b'yamin it's a sakana. But b'di'evet he went and he did a seva smile. So I mentioned before that he did a seva simin. B'di'evet. The iter by mistake did a seva simin. So b'di'evet, what's going to be the din? So I mentioned before that the Marshal says that Hasevas Yamin B'di'evet by a regular person is not a good Haseva because he has to eat with his right hand. So it's not an Haseva. It's not a good Haseva. Well, how about B'negayet to the Iter? A lefty, if B'di'evet he did a Hasevas Yamin, l'chayre, there's no reason that it shouldn't be a Seva. There's no reason whatsoever. Yeah? Makes sense or not? Should I touch your eyes? Iter that did a Hasevas Yamin. So, yeah, he put himself in a sakana, but he survived. So, Maida Hava. And the Haseva that he did was comfortable for him because he now was able to eat with his left hand. So, there's no chisaron in his Haseva. So, b'di'evet, an iter that did a Haseva simin is yaitza. Should be able to be yaitza. And that's what the Pri Megadim in the Mishpat Zav says. Huh? Like plug, you mean? Then the Pri Megadim in the Eshel Avram, and in the end he quotes that the Pri Chodesh says this. The Pri Chodesh says, no, it doesn't make a difference. Anybody that does a seva and Yisevus Yamin is not Yaitza. Not only is a normal person not Yaitza for a Yisevus Yamin because his hand is stuck and he can't eat, even a Iter, which a Yisevus Yamin is more comfortable for him, is not Yaitza if he does a Yisevus Yamin. Because once the Gemara said that you should not do a Yisevus Yamin because it's a sakana, even if you do it with the eved and you survived the sakana, it's not going to be a seva. Why not? So you're saying the svar of loy plug. What does that mean, loy plug? What do you mean loy plug? I don't see how why should loy plug apply over here? This iter is bechlal in a problem even when you get to lechatchila. Even when you get to lechatchila, how is this iter supposed to do a seva? The shaila is not only when you get to b'di'eved, the shaila is even when you get to lechatchila. L'chol hapachas when you get to b'di'eved, if you did a seva simin, the halacha should be that it's a good seva. The only issue was sakana, and b'payil he survived the sakana. One second, I'll explain everything. B'payil he survived the sakana, so why should b'di'eved that seva simin not be a seva for an iter? So the pshat over here is that there's a different pshat in the Lashon HaGemara when it says v'lo yoyed el Hashem yaktim kana levesht. When the Gemara says v'lo yoyed el Hashem yaktim kana levesht, what does the Gemara mean by that? Yeah, the Gemara is telling you about the sakana, but is the Gemara stam telling you about the issue of sakana? That's all. In other words, the way you have to read this Gemara is as follows. First, the Gemara is talking about Hilchas HaSeiva. Chachavim were misakin how to be Mekayim mitzvah HaSeiva. Prakten lo yishmei HaSeiva. Seiva simin lo yishmei HaSeiva. Atkan b'negei to Hilchas HaSeiva. V'lo yoid has nothing to do with Hilchas HaSeiva. V'lo yoid is the Gemara saying that besides Hilchas HaSeiva, there's an issue of sakana. It's a side point though. It's not negei though to the takana of a Seiva. It's one way now you learn the Gemara. If you learn that way, so a iter that did Hasevis Yamin, and for him the issue of Hasevis Yamin lo yishmei Haseva doesn't apply because fakert it's easier for him to eat when he does Hasevis Yamin. And a sakana, he shouldn't have done it because it was a sakana, but he survived. So there's no reason it shouldn't be a good Haseva. But there's another way not to learn the taich of the Gemara. When the Gemara says v'lo yoyed el Hashem yaktem kana leveish, it's a hemshech. It's a hemshech of the hezber of the Gemara, why Chazal were masakin to do that Seiva dafke b'smail. There's two reasons why Chazal were masakin to do that Seiva b'smail. Number one, because b'imin tzarech lechol, like the Rashbam says, Seiva simin lo yishmei Seiva, because b'imin tzarech lechol. V'lo yoyed el Hashem yaktem kana leveish, it's a sakana, and because of this reason of sakana, Chachamim were masakin that it should be dafke Seiva b'smail. The Gemara is not stam bringing up the union of sakana here, because there's an afgemina b'negei to iter. The Gemara is bringing up because that is a second reason why Taka Chachamim made the takana that you should do a Seiva smile. So again, the two way found over here is what is the pshat in the Gemara when it says v'loi oid? Is the v'loi oid a zaytige meise? It's an Inyan's dodi. Sakana. Nothing to do with takana saseva. Chachamim didn't create the takana to be dafke b'smail because of this sakana. They said it should be b'smail because of the time that the Rashbam says, because b'yimin tzarech lechol. That's the reason. V'loi oid is not a reason for takana saseva. V'loi oid is a reason for the hilchas sakana. I think in the Rambam in Hilchas Deis brings this Indian of sakana, if I'm not mistaken. Or you could say the v'loi oid is this gufa is a time for why Chachamim decided to make it a Seiva Smell. So once Chachamim decided to make the Seiva Dafka Seiva Smell because of Sakana, so then you could say Loi Plug. Then you could say Loi Plug. Even for an Eater. Once Chachamim made the Takana that it should be Dafka Seiva Smell, so then mitzad this time Chachamim said that it has to be Dafka Seiva Smell. It's good shaila. According to if this is true, then l'chayra you're right. Because either way, with the yavel you're not yotze. That's l'chayra the machlokes over here between the psachim, between the pri megadim and the two ifanim and the pri megadim and the pri chodosh. Iter b'negei to the yavel. How do you read the v'loi oid in the Gemara? Is it a separate inyan or is it not a separate inyan? Okay. So now, let's see how the Alter Rebbe learns. You look inside the Alter Rebbe, in the Lashonos of the Alter Rebbe, you see b'negei to everything that I just spoke about. So, how does the Alter Rebbe learn? Huh? How many shittas did I say? Iter. Yeah, did I say 5 shittas? I didn't realize. Iter, according to Rashi, iter has to be meisev b'yaminai. According to the Rashbam, iter has to be meisev b'smailai. That's one machlokes. And then the shaila is b'negei to b'diyevet. Even according to the Rashbam, that holds you have to be meisev b'smailai. But what happens b'diyevet if you were meisev b'yaminai? So it's machlokes the pri megadim and the pri chodosh. If b'diyevet you're yotze or not. And l'chayr it's tolui in the pshat of the Gemara and the v'loi oid. How do you learn the v'loi oid? If the v'loi oid is a separate inyan, so then b'diyevet you should be yotze. But if the v'loi oid is a chelik of the Gemara explaining why they made it takana dafka to be b'smail, so that applies to everybody, even if the sakana b'payil doesn't apply to you. Zogt Alter Rebbe in Siftes, in Simen Tofayim Bei Siftes, Ikeshu Meisev. It's not cold enough, we can open more windows. Ikeshu Meisev. Lo yatal gabay v'lo yal panov she'ein zeh derech cherus. You shouldn't do a saving, not al gabay, not al panov, because it's not derech cherus. Ele yatal tzidei asmalis You should do a seva on smile, v'lo al yemonis, she'ein derech a seva bekach shaharei tzorech lechel b'yamin. So there's a clear shinui here that the Alter Rebbe is medayik to be machalik between derech cherus by the lashon that Alter Rebbe says b'negei to why you shouldn't do a seva on your back or al panov. The Alter Rebbe says why not? Because it's not derech cherus. It's b'chlal not derech cherus. When it comes to doing a seva al yamin, what does Alter Rebbe say? Ein derech haseva bekach. It doesn't say ein ze derech cherus. Ein derech haseva bekach. Siftes. Simatov ein beis siftes. What's the pshat in this chiluk? What's the pshat in this chiluk, and where did Alter Rebbe take this from? Where did Alter Rebbe take this from to be mechalik between hasevas prakton and hasevas yamin? Hasevas prakton is not derech cherus bechlal. Hasevas yamin, says Alter Rebbe, ein derech haseva bekach. Ein derech haseva bekach is mashma, it is derech cherus. It is derech cherus, but it's not derech haseva bekach. Where did Alter Rebbe take this from? Huh?
On your back is pushing not comfortably, practically can eat. On your right side, if you're lefty, eat.
If you're a lefty, the Alter Rebbe is not talking about a lefty so far. The lefty comes in the last line of the line of the Sif. 1 second. L'chayre, the marker of the Alter Rebbe is the Rashbam. The very fact, the first question that I asked over here, the very fact that the Rashbam, when it comes to a Sevis Yamin, is mefarish why a Sevis Yamin is not a Seva. Because Yamin utzarech lechel. And when it comes to Prakdin, the Rashbam doesn't say anything. Why it's not a Seva? Why not? What's Taka de Chiluk? Because when the Gemara says by Prakdin lo yishmei a Seva, the Gemara means it's Taka not a Seva at all. Prakdin is nothing. It's not a Seva b'chlal. And the Rashbam doesn't bavar anything. The Rashbam doesn't qualify that. Haseva's Prakdin lo yishmei a Seva, period. And on that, Alter Rebbe is mefarish. It's not even derech cherus. It's not begeder a seva b'chlal. A seva is derech cherus. Prakton is not derech cherus. When it comes to a seva simin, the Rashbam is mefarish. Harei b'minei tzarech lechel. So harei b'minei tzarech lechel, the Alter Rebbe learned, doesn't mean that it's not a seva at all. It's a seva. On one hand, a person sitting in a reclining position makes him more comfortable. Even if, while he's doing that, he's causing himself another problem that now makes it uncomfortable for him to use his right hand to eat. It doesn't eliminate the fact that at the same time he is in a position of haseva, which is making him comfortable mitzad that. So therefore the Alter Rebbe learned, Sevis Yimin, since the Rashbam is mefarish, that the only issue of a Sevis Yimin is Yimin Tzarech Lechol, that doesn't take away the etzem fact that the Maisa HaSeva itself is a Maisa of Derech Cherus. A person sitting in this position is a Maisa of Derech Cherus. Masha'en came Prakton is not Derech Cherus b'chlal. A person that's eating and it's lies sitting all the way back, that's not Derech Cherus b'chlal. That's nicht das. You don't eat lying on your back. A person does not eat lying on his back. It's a position, this way or this way, it's a position that a person eats in. No, it's not. Prakton is b'chalal not a position that a person eats in. It's a position that the human body could configure itself into, I understand. But it's not a position that a person ever eats in. So Prakton... Huh? It's a more comfortable position. The difference is that by Prakton, it's not shaykh to eat. Right? I mean, Pesach says al ponov, it's not shaykh to eat, and even al gaboy, it's not b'chlal, not begeder derech cherus. Okay, the technicalities of this you'll have to figure it out. You have to argue it out. But I believe that the makar of the Alter Rebbe is the Rashbam here. In Ikea to Prakton, the Gemara said lo yishma seva, and the Rashbam sagt nicht apirish, because over there the Rashbam learned kipshutay lo yishma seva, b'chlal not a seva. Ein zed derech cherus. What is a seva? Derech cherus. Ein zed derech cherus. Alter Rebbe is saying a seva is the derech cherus. Lo yishma seva means it's b'chalal, not derech cherus. When it comes to a seva simin, it's derech cherus, but it's not the derech to do a seva this way, because while you're making yourself comfortable on one hand by reclining on the right side, you're also causing a discomfort by getting your hand stuck. So it's not mamish, not derech cherus. Okay, that's the first chiddush you see here in the Alter Rebbe. Yeah, 1 second. One second, I'll explain. V'oid sagt Alter Rebbe, she'im Yosef b'yimin, yuchal lavel edei sakana, lefish aveshtu b'yimin v'akana, b'smel v'myatal, yimin yeh aveshet l'mata v'kana l'mayla, v'yeh niftach ha'koy v'shal pi ha'kana me'la v'yikana, samaychal derech ha'kana v'yavel edei sakana. So v'oid is, it is a sakana. So number one, ein derech ha'seva b'kach, and also there's a sakana. Then the Alter Rebbe concludes, ulefichach, af mishahu iter shedarkai lechel b'smail af al pikein Yosef al smaila shu smail kolodam. Because of the issue of sakana, even though it's uncomfortable for him to be mesiv al smailai, because his hand gets stuck, he should be mesiv al smailai. So how do you learn pshat here in the Alter Rebbe? What is the Alter Rebbe saying here? So l'chayri yesh leimar that since the Alter Rebbe, what did the Alter Rebbe say before B'nigeya to a Sevis Yimin? The only issue with a Sevis Yimin is not that it's not a Seva at all. The Alter Rebbe didn't say that it's not Derech Cheirus. The Alter Rebbe said that it's not Derech HaSeva B'kach. So if it's not Derech HaSeva B'kach, what happens if a person did a Seva B'di'eved al Yeminoi? Would he be Yaitza or not? B'di'eved, if he did a Seva al Yeminoi, L'fi the Alter Rebbe, would he be Yaitza or not? The mashal that I mentioned before says a person that does a sevis yimin, even b'di'eved, you're not yaitze. Why not? So the mashal's lashon was that a person that does a sevis b'yimin lehavye haseva kol ikir, or another lashon he says before ki'ilu lehesav klal. Could you say that according to the Alter Rebbe? No. The Alter Rebbe doesn't say a sevis yimin is not an aseva at all. The Alter Rebbe says the only thing that's lacking is that it's not derech haseva b'kach. Is it derech cheiros? Was his a seva derech cheiros? Yeah. It's not derech haseva b'kach, but it was derech cheiros. So what happens b'di'eved if a person did a seva simin? L'chayre misvara, according to Alter Rebbe, the din should be not only by a iter, by every single person. If you did a seva yimin, you should be yaitza. The poil, he ate the matzah derech cheiros. He drank the wine derech cheiros. The Alter Rebbe is telling me that it is derech cheiros. It's only not derech haseva b'kach. So he managed, he figured out, he's reclining, and he figured out how to use his right hand even though he's leaning on his right hand. He figured out how to do it. And it's considered to be derech cheiros. V'haraya, the Alter Rebbe says the only problem is that it's not derech haseva b'kach, but it is derech cheiros. So l'chayre b'di'eved, you should be yaitza. So if that's true, then it would be two things. So first of all, then it would be a machlekes between the Marshal and the Alter Rebbe. The Marshal holds that it's not a seva b'chalal. A seva simin is not a seva b'chalal. Mashenk and the Alter Rebbe holds a seva simin is only ein derech haseva b'kach. And then another thing, in the lashon of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch itself, there's a chiluk between a prakton and a seva simin. When you get to prakton, which the Alter Rebbe says ein zeh derech cheiros, even b'di'eved you're not yaitza. When you get to a seva simin, which the Alter Rebbe says ein derech haseva b'kach, but b'poil, if you did that seva, it's going to be yaitza. Because it's only an ein derech haseva b'kach, but it is derech cheiros, so b'di'eved l'chayri you should be yaitza. You hear what I'm saying or not? Huh?
Only that is from
Ein derech haseva b'kach.
So
What's the issue? I also don't.
No, I'm saying, did you have a difference? Good.
Maybe, yeah.
So what's the tradition of the first way, the first time?
What's the chiddush?
The first reason, and the Hatzeva, which is the
Okay, that's a question you asked. Al derech. Huh?
Mishum da sakana, it shouldn't be either way with the other.
Lav dafka. I said before machlokes ha-poskim about that. That's not pashut at all. How do you know? How do you know what the Alter Rebbe holds about that?
I don't know.
Okay, but say there. Good, say there. But I'm talking now mitzad this inyan itself. Ein derech haseva b'kach. Mitzad this lashon. L'chayre, there's a big mokim to be mechalik between a seva of a prakton and a seva simin. Sevis prakton, you didn't do any derech cheiros. You have to do derech cheiros. By sevis yimin, but poil, what you did is derech cheiros. Fine, it's not derech haseva b'kach, but poil, what you did is cheiros. So you were yaitze the cheiros. I think it's a very strong svara. If that's true, so then let's go a step for 1 second, let me build on this svara. I'm planning on slugging this up eventually, but I still think it's a good svara anyways. I'm not 100% sure this is not true. But first, let's go with this water. 1 second. So al pizeh, let's build it a step further. I'm hearing someone. I want to hear someone slug it up like a mensch, not Stam telling me. Okay, 1 second. It does. There's no hechrach against this. So. It's not true. The chiyuv is the hasiba is a heichetimtza how to have chayros. Chachamim said the hasiba should be because of chayros. It's not. There's no thing of stam reclining. The hasiba is chayros. That's what the essence of hasiba is. Okay, let me go further for a second. 1 second. So now al pizeh l'chayri you could say b'negei to iter. According to the Alter Rebbe, so the question that I asked before, the Maral's question is, a iter is stuck. How could a iter do a seva? A iter can't do a seva. Can't do it al yamin because it's a sakana. Can't do it al smel because his hand is stuck. So a iter is stuck. So the answer is, his hand is stuck and he's stuck. He can't do a seva. So the answer is, according to the Alter Rebbe, l'chayri you could say, since the din is, if this diak is right, since the din is b'negei to every person, that if he does hasevis yamin b'diavad yaitza, only praktin, you're not yaitza b'diavad because it's not derech chayros. But hasevis yamin b'diavad you are yaitza because it is derech chayros. So l'chayri you could say every iter is like a b'diavad. An iter is a b'diavad case. That's what an iter is. An iter is a person. I don't want to call him a b'diavad person, chas v'shalom. But an iter, because he's a lefty, is in a matzav that he's in a b'diavad matzav, or call it a shasat chak matzav. He has no other choice. Umemela, the only thing he can do is do a seva which is derech chayros, but not derech haseva. According to the Marshal says a seva simin is bechlal not a seva. So then the Maral's shaila is a eisen akasha. You can't do it on yamin because it's a sakana. You can't do it on smel because it's not derech seva and therefore it's bechlal not a seva for him. But according to the Alter Rebbe, when your hand is stuck, it is derech chayros. It's not derech haseva bekach. B'diavad you would be yaitza even by a regular person. So every iter is like a b'diavad. His matzav is a matzav b'diavad. There is no other way. That's too much lumdus for me. We can't. Yeah.
What's the whole verse? That the chayros is mitzad the eating, and here in the eating there's no chayros. It's not just that you should lean.
Why not?
Eating
It is. It's derech chayros. I'm reading you the words of the Alter Rebbe.
I'm eating and I'm comfortable, right? But when I'm eating, I'm uncomfortable.
I'm reading you what the Alter Rebbe says, that sevas yemin is derech chayros. It's a clear deal. It's not derech haseva bekach, but it is derech chayros. If the Alter Rebbe would have held that a sevas yemin is not derech chayros, the Alter Rebbe should have said the same lashon like he said before. No. This is not derech chayros, and this is not derech chayros.
The hasiba is derech chayros, but when you get the Indian, the achila, it's not derech chayros.
Okay, good. We can talk about it soon. Because he's like stuck with his hand, and he's like, Okay, but l'chayre, this pshat, I mean, I'm not going to say I have a hechrach against this pshat, but it's a chiddush. It's a very big chiddush to say this pshat. Why is it a chiddush? Because it comes out that what we're saying over here is that b'negei to Prakdon, when b'negei to Prakdon, he's not going to be yaitz even b'diavad. B'negei to sevis yamin, he will be yaitz b'diavad. It's a chiluk. It's a chiluk that the Alter Rebbe doesn't say, and it's a chiddush ledina to say such a thing. And a chanami, the Alter Rebbe's mishana is loshen. Here he says it's not derech chayros, and here he says it's not derech haseva. But to take it to the next step and to say that therefore the Alter Rebbe holds that by yasevis yamin you yaitze b'diavad, it's a chiddush. It's a chiddush. It's not so pashut. Befrat, it is a mefurish marshal that says not so. So, sai something which the Alter Rebbe here didn't say himself beferish. And sai, if I know that it's against the beferish marshal, why go so far to say such a chiddush? Wait 1 second. Sorry, what? No, chayre not. I mean, he says ein ze haseva klal. If he says ein ze haseva klal, that l'chayre means that it's not derech chayros. I mean, if he would have held that it's derech chayros, he wouldn't use such a strong lashon that ein ze haseva klal. But the question remains: if the Alter Rebbe says hasevas yamin is derech chayros, so then why taka b'diavad shouldn't you be yaitze? Why shouldn't you be yaitze b'diavad on a sevis yamin? So l'chayre tzarech laimar, similar to the svara that I said before, b'shem the pri chadash and the pri megadim. So l'chayre you could say the same thing over here b'negei to this. And a chanami a sevis yamin is derech chayros, but it's not derech haseva. Hayos, it's not derech haseva. When Chachamim made their takana to do a seva, their takana was to do it behaseva smile and not to do it behaseva simin, because ein derech haseva bekach. So once that was the way Chachamim made the takana, if you don't do it in that oifen, you weren't mekayim takanas chazal. Umimele, even if you were mesiv derech chayros, but the takana of chazal you didn't do, so therefore you have to do a seva over again. The point of here is not just to do derech chayros. Yeah, and a chanami, the whole inyan of a seva is the derech chayros. But there is a takana of chazal how to do that derech chayros. Just like we don't do derech chayros in any other way. I mentioned this in the first share on this whole inyan. You don't do derech chayros with kelim noim. That's not enough. Chazal wanted dafka a seva. In a seva gufa, chachama were mesaken, it should be dafka derech a seva. So if you didn't do it b'derech haseva, even though it is derech chayros, but it's not ketikun chachamim. If it's not ketikun chachamim, you're not yaitz even b'diavad. That's the chayre de pshare. So the fact that the Alter Rebbe's mishana is loshen from derech haseva to derech chayros, it's a shinui. It's taka shinui. And haseva simin is derech chayros, but it's still not ketikun chazal. So even b'diavad, you're not going to be yaitza. Huh? Have to? No. I don't have a hechrich. I don't have a hechrich to say this, but I think it's more mistaver. It's more mistaver to say this way than to say a chiddush that according to the Alter Rebbe you will be yaitze b'diavad. I think it's a bigger chiddush to say that. So l'chayr al pizeh, if this is true, so then let's go back again to iter. L'chayr you could say al derech menegei to iter as follows. When did Chachamim, legabi who did Chachamim say that a sevis yimin is not considered to be a seva? Because it's not derech haseva bekach. That's b'negeya to a regular person. B'negeya to a regular person that has the option to do a seva in a regular derech haseva. So legabi him, the Chachamim said, doing a seva not derech haseva is not the way we were masakin a seva. But an iter that can't. The only way for him to do a seva is shaloik derech haseva. He has two options: either sakana or to do a seva shaloik derech haseva. Those are the only two options he has. Legabe him, Chachamim never included this individual in this prat of their takana that a seva shaloik derech is not a seva. So I'm going back to the nekuda that I said before. The Alter Rebbe holds a sevis yamin is a seva. Mitzad the etzem a seva, it's derech chayros. Chachamim, however, came along and said, Hagam it is derech chayros, but it's not derech haseva. So because it's not derech haseva, we were masakin, don't do it this way. But that's all b'negei to a regular person. How about b'negei to iter that doesn't have another option? B'negei to iter that doesn't have another option, Chachamim never included him in that takana. That person has to do it in an oifen that's not derech haseva, because at least it's derech chayros. No. The lawyer is speaking to everybody. One second. Get back to that in a minute. So I'm answering the shaila of the marshal of the maral. The shaila of the maral. What should the iter do? I'm answering it in the same way. I'm just not using the b'diavad word. B'diavad, you're not yaitza. You're not yaitza b'diavad. But for it, Alter Rebbe says that it is derech chayros. If it is derech chayros, then you can be mechalik between an iter and a regular person. For a regular person, that chachamim were mesakin, that doing it shaleik derech haseva is not bechlal takanosam. For a iter, since there is no other option, so it is bechlal takanosam, because sof it's derech chayros. That's chayre de pshar according to the Alter Rebbe. Mashenkin the marshal that says that a sevis yamin is not haseva at all. It's not very schwer. Shaila of the Maral stays a Shaila. Okay, that's one oifen to fanfare, but then l'chayra there's another oifen you can learn pshat here in the Alter Rebbe. There is l'chayra another oifen you can learn according to the Alter Rebbe. According to this, it comes out a regular person does a seva kedarkei. A iter is mechuyev to do a seva shaloi kedarkei. There's no choice. That's the way Chavor Masakin it. But l'chayre yeshloima that the kavan of the Alter Rebbe is that even a iter could do a seva kedarkei. How? How is a iter going to do a seva kedarkei? So let's read the words of the Alter Rebbe inside again. The Alter Rebbe says, "V'lo yala yemanis she'ein derech haseva bekach sheharei tzorech lechol biyamin v'oid she'im yasiv biyamin yuchalav l'dei sakana." When the Alter Rebbe adds that v'oid, what's the pshat in this v'oid? This is similar to what I said before when I get to the Gemara itself. What's this v'oid? You could say that this v'oid is a second reason why it's not derech haseva bekach. The v'oid is not number one, ein derech haseva bekach, sharei tzarech lechol biyamin. That's it, at kan. There's only one reason why it's not derech haseva bekach, because he's uncomfortable to eat. V'oid, separate point, unrelated to derech haseva, sakana. No, the v'oid is a v'oid on the derech haseva. Another reason why it's not the derech for a person to do a seva on his right side, because when he does a seva on his right side, he chokes. Choking, there's two things. What happens when you choke? Two things happen. Number one, you die, possibly. And number two, it's very uncomfortable. So it's another reason why it's not a derech lahasav bekach. Just like when your hand is stuck, it's not the derech to do a seva. The v'oid is also a reason, even if it would be comfortable, a person doesn't want to die. So he doesn't do a seva on his right side, because it's not, so therefore, so this is a second reason why it's ein derech haseva bekach. Not a separate inyan. If that's the pshat, then l'chayri you could say that benigay to a iter, when he does a seva on his left side, it's the derech haseva for him. Why? Very pashta cheshbon. What does a person care about more? About the fact that he might choke or the fact that his hand is stuck? Of course that he might choke. Huh? But that's not an option, because sitting regular is not derech chedus. And this person has to be mekayim takanas chachamim of a seva derech chedus. Huh? Ani is a person that doesn't have the karim uksasis. It's a different story. This is a person, you're telling him you could spend $1 million. You can't do a seva. Chachamim will never make a takana in a eifin that they're excluding a chelik of Klal Yisrael. There's no question about it. One second. Umemela, this person wants to do a seva. He has two options. It's not the derech to do a seva for him biyamin, because if he doesn't biyamin, he's going to choke. And it's not the derech for him to do a seva b'smoil, because his hand is going to be stuck. So which one is it the derech for him to do a seva? It does. That was your question. How does a king, which is a lefty, do a seva? So for a person, in a case where a person has to do a seva, fine, say that king doesn't have to. In a case where a person has to do a seva, what's stronger? What's more the derech? The fact that he wants to save the comfort of his hand, of his eating, or the fact that he doesn't want to choke? Of course, the fact that he doesn't want to choke. When a eater does a seva b'smoiloi, that's darkoi to do a seva. That is the derech for an eater to do a seva. It's a takanas chazal, evil. Fulfilling takanas chazal is evil. Huh? What? Who says he's b'chlal doing a seva a whole entire year? I mean, that he is correct. Mistam a whole entire year. He's sitting like a mensch because he can't do it this way, he can't do it that way. Yeah, but not a lefty. Maybe a lefty didn't. Maybe a lefty can't do a seva. Okay, I'm not sure if it's the chat I'm saying is clear, but I think it is. I'm not going to go over it again. There's a big nafka from these two pshatim. There's a huge nafka from these two pshatim. Going back, and this is why I brought it before, the machlekes of the Pri Megadim and the Pri Chodesh b'negei to a iter b'diavad. B'negei to a iter b'diavad. If you learn like the first pshat I said in the Alter Rebbe, that what we're saying over here is that a iter should do a seva b'smoilei hagametz shaloi kederech a seva, but too bad, that's the only way he could do it. Or even like the first pshat I said, that he's a b'diavad a seva. So then what happens? What happens if he did a seva biyaminoi? What happens b'diavad if he did a seva not b'smoil but biyamin? Is he going to be yaitza? Yeah, he's going to be yaitza. Because Hasiva Smile is Shaloi Kedarkai. Hasiva Simin is Kedarkai. Chatchil, you can't do it because it's a sakana, but with the Yavin, if you did it, it's going to be Yaitza. Mashenkin, according to the second shot that I just said now, that when the Alter Rebbe says, V'oichim Yosef bin Yuchal Lavel de Sakana, that's a second reason why it's not dark Elohasa B'Yamin. Umemela, a eater that does Hasiva B'Smile, that is his derech. He's ready to give up, let's put it in these words. He's ready to give up his little comfort in order to not choke, to be Mekayim Takana. He has to be Mekayim Takanas Chazal. He's ready to give up. It's more comfortable for him to give up his little comfort that he shouldn't choke and that his hand shouldn't be so comfortable. He'll figure out, he'll position his body in a way that his hand is over the pillow in a way so that he can use it, whatever. Figure it out. He's ready to give up this. So therefore, that is his derech haseva. If that is his derech haseva, so then b'diavad, if he did it b'yamin, it's not his derech haseva. Sakana is not just a svara of sakana. Sakana is a svara why it's not derech haseva. So even for a iter, b'smoiloi is derech haseva, b'yaminoi, which is a sakana, is not derech haseva. V'oid is a svara l'gabe derech haseva, not just stam a svara of sakana. This is also, I mean, in the pshat of the Gemara, the v'loi oid, when the Gemara brings the v'loi oid, according to the Alter Rebbe, you could say that when the Gemara said v'loi oid, it's not stam telling you a story about sakana because there's an afkamina b'negeya to iter. The v'loi oid is negeya to the derech haseva. Huh? No, I said it in a different item before, not this part. Okay, this is all over here b'negeya to the Alter Rebbe. The pshat in the Gemara. Now there's the Rebbe's Agoda. What does it say in the Rebbe's Agoda? In the Rebbe's Agoda it says, Hasiva Smile. In the new Shulchan Aruch, it's on page Tov Pei Vav. Okay, see if in 6 minutes I can explain the Rebbe's Agoda. But it says in the Rebbe's Agoda, Hasiva Smile, sagt der Rebbe, Ki Hasivas Yemin Al Ponov Oy Al Gabov Ein Zu Hasiva. And the Rebbe's Mitzayin, Psachim Kuf Ches Amar Aleph, Uki Pirish HaRambam Hilchas Chometz HaMatzah Perik Zayin Alocha Ches. Now this is the Pirish HaRambam. So this is one of the famous diukim in the Rebbe's Agoda. What does the Rebbe mean when the Rebbe writes Uki Pirish HaRambam? Why is this Pirish HaRambam? What is the Pirush HaRambam that the Rebbe is quoting here? Again, the Rebbe's lashon is Ki Hasevis Yemin Al Panav Al Gabav Ein Zu Haseva Uki Pirush HaRambam. What's the Pirush HaRambam? So the pashtus pshat of what the Rebbe is saying over here is the reason. Over here it's Tov Pevov. Oh, I don't know. It's right before Urchatz. So the pashtus pshat is that the Rebbe is saying Pirush HaRambam, that the Rambam is mafarish that Praktan has two pirushim. Praktan means al gabay and al ponov. That's the Pirush Rambam. But the fact that Praktan has two pirushim is not only the Rambam. The Ran says it. That's what it says in Torah Shulchan Aruch. I'm not sure. It's a deichik to say that when the Rebbe says Pirush Rambam, the Rebbe means that ponov and gabov. When the Rebbe says here Pirush Rambam, what the Rebbe means is Pirush Rambam as opposed to Pirush Rashbam. What's Pirush Rashbam in the Gemara? Pirush HaRashbam in the Gemara is the Alter Rebbe's Pshat in Shulchan Aruch. The din that a Sevis Yemin is not a Seva, and the din that Praktan is not a Seva have nothing to do with each other. The fact that Praktan is not a Seva, what did the Alter Rebbe say? Ein derech cheres bekach. It's not a Seva b'chlal. The fact that a Sevis Yemin is not a Seva, it is derech cheres, but it's not derech a Seva bekach, because b'yamin it's tzarech lechol. The Rambam does not hold to that. The Rambam is not mechalik between Yemin, Praktan. The Rambam is not machalik that way. Not only that, the Rambam actually brings Yemin before Praktan, opposite of the Seder of our Gemara. The Rambam puts everything together. Yemin is not a Seva, Praktan is not a Seva, and the Rambam is not machalik these two Eifanim that Alter Rebbe says according to the Rashbam. What's the pshat of the Rambam? The Rambam holds Yemin is not a Seva, Yemin is Bechlal not a Seva, Hasevis Praktan is also Bechlal not a Seva. They're both Bechlal not a Seva. Not at all. Why not? Why are they both taka b'chlal not a seva? If the Rambam doesn't hold of the svara of the Rashbam, sharei b'minei tzarech lechol, so then why are they both b'chlal not a seva? So the Maral says a beautiful pshat. The Maral says that when the Gemara says shema yaktim kana leveisht, it goes on both. The emphasis the Meiri says this, Rabbi Menayach here says it. But that's not the Chiddush of the Maral. Maral, a second. The Rishonim already say that when the Gemara says Shema Yaktim, it goes Sai and Sevis Yamin and Sai and Sevis Smile. And Sai and Praktan, I mean. Both. But what the Gemara is saying is two things. Number one, the Gemara is saying a Sevas, Praktan is not a Seva. Sevis Yamin is not a Seva. Why? Because it's dangerous. If it's dangerous, it's not Derech Chedus. How could it be Derech Chedus for a person to do something that's dangerous? That Gufa is the reason why it's Bechlal not a Seva. Then the Gemara says, V'loi oid el Shema Yaktim kana leveisht. Besides the fact that because Shema Yaktim is the reason why the mitzvah of a seva is not a mitzvah because it's not derech chedus, but naisif lezeh, take a seva out of the picture, it happens to be a sakana, any suda you would be eating. Any suda you would be eating. So the Shema Yaktim that the Gemara brings is kailo two svaras. This is the chiddush of the Maral. The Shema Yaktim is kailo two svaras. Shema Yaktim is the reason for lo shmei aseva, legabi hilchus aseva, legabi mitzvahs aseva, which is to be derech chedus. If you do something which is a sakana, it's not derech chedus. It's a contradiction, sakana and derech chedus. If you do something which is a sakana, some people think that sakana is derech chedus. It's like whatever. Okay, but sakana is nish derech chedus. That's the first point the Gemara says. Then the Gemara says, besides all of that, besides mitzvah saseva, any suda, Shema Yaktim kana leveisht. That's the pshat in the Gemara. So there is no reason that applies only for a sevis yamin and not for praktan, or a reason that applies only to praktan and not a sevis yamin. They both have the same reason. A sevis yamin and a sevis praktan are not a seva b'chlal. And then the Gemara says, V'lo yed el Shema Yaktim kana leveisht. That there's a sakana. That there's going to be a sakana in what you're doing. That's the pshat the Rambam, which is not like what the Alter Rebbe says in Shulchan Aruch. Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch is machalik, like it's mashmeh from the Rashbam. Sevis Yamin is not derech heseva. Heseva's praktan is b'chlal not derech chedus. The Rambam doesn't learn that way. So kanira the Rebbe is mefarish. The lashon of the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur, lashon of the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur is Shaisa hakais b'yeshiva behesevas smol derech chedus. So from the lashon of the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur is mashma that Haseva Smile is derech chedus. If it's not a Seva Smile, it's not derech chedus. If it's not a Seva Smile, it's not derech chedus, which is not true according to what it says in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. In Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, even a Seva Simin is derech chedus. But Payil, you're not going to be yaitzik because Chacham will masakin not to do it that way. Whatever. But the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur says a seva smile derech chedus. Dafka a seva smile is derech chedus. There is no other way to do derech chedus, and therefore on this lashon of the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur, the Rebbe says Pirush Rambam. Pirush Rambam is that both a sevis yamin and a sevis praktan is not derech chedus. Not like the pshat of the Rashbam and the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch. Upon him, it comes out that there's like there's 3 or 4 pshatim over here in the Gemara when it says v'loy oid. What does the Gemara mean when it says v'loy oid? Is the Gemara saying, according to the Marshal, when the Gemara says v'loy oid, it's a zaytig. The whole v'loy oid is sakana, has nothing to do with the gufa sugi here. And therefore the Marshal says, my dahava hava. What happens if you do a sevis yamin? You're yaitze. It's a zaytig. According to the Pri Chadash, v'loy oid is a hemshech. That's the reason why Chazal were misakin to do it this way. Because it's a sakana. Sakana was part of the reason Chazal were misakin to do it this way. According to the Alter Rebbe, the pshat in the v'loy oid maybe is that this is another reason why it's not the derech to do a seva. It's a second svara for derech a seva. The Alter Rebbe comes up with this new thing, derech a seva. The v'loy oid is another svara for derech a seva. And according to the Rambam, the v'loy oid is kailul tu pirushim. The Shema Yaktim is on one hand, this is what the Maral says, Shema Yaktim on one hand is the reason why you're not Yetzim Mitzvahs HaSeva, because Shema Yaktim is a sakana is Heipach Chedus. And V'lo Yoid also that it's a sakana, meaning for itself, that any student this would be a sakana. 4 different shatim in the Gemara. Okay.